I mean, I can just be, be in and out.
Beach Talk Radio.
Lee County Commissioner Ray Sandelli.
I wanted to thank you because when I started on this path from the governor, one of the first things I did was your podcast, and it was a lot of fun. And you asked me questions that made me think about what people wanted.
Beach Talk Radio.
Jim Nickel. I did want to take a moment while I'm here to say thank you very much for your kind words during that election. I didn't have a chance to come up and say thank you right afterwards, and I do appreciate the opportunity to say that.
Beach Talk Radio.
Federal Judge Steve McGuire is here.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for having me on the show. It's always great to be in Fort Myers Beach, and I'm honored to ask to be a part of such an acclaimed program.
Beach Talk Radio.
Dr. Wayne Edson.
I just want to say, Ed, that I support your show. I think you're providing a great service to Fort Myers Beach. Our local politicians may not always feel that way, but hang in there because I learned a long time ago, politicians are temporary.
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
And a good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode number 173. We are broadcasting live from Peach Time Out and also from Utah, where the wife is celebrating her annual trip to Utah, or vacation, and there she is right there, showing off the mountain, the sunshine. It's 2 hours earlier, so it's 7 o'clock out there. Can you hear us okay? How is it going out there, lovely wife?
It's going well, but it's a little chilly in the morning. It's 63 now, and it'll be 103 in the afternoon.
63 degrees now and 103 degrees later in the afternoon. So very nice. Well, we have a lovely show lined up, and you're going to sit out there. And if you have any questions, we will pop you right in the booth. So the amazing ways of technology now. And so we're going to switch over to our camera here and introduce our co-host in the studio of Pete's Time Out, and that is Greg Skasny is right with us. Greg, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me. It's always a blast to be on the show.
Yes, and our guests this morning are Pastor Sean Kritzer from the Beach Baptist Church and his lovely wife, and we appreciate them both coming in. And Pastor Sean, I'm going to let you introduce your wife because she's never been on the show before. I think this is your third time on the show, so thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, so finally, with much ado, this is my wife, Sherry Ann, who has been partners in ministry since we were here. So it's not like she was never here. She was just always back there making sure I did things right.
Right.
So
is he doing things right?
Yes.
A little hesitation there, but very cool. So first, let's talk about the church before we get to the big topic. How long have you been there now?
This would be our 17th year.
2004.
2004. So
Very
Hurricane
cool.
Charlie was our inaugural welcome to the beach.
And the church does more than just services. You have a lot of things like for kids and for families. Can you talk about some of the things that you provide for the community?
Sure. I mean, our attitude and heart's always been that it shouldn't just be church on Sunday or Wednesday anyway. So I honestly look at our Sunday services as secondary or even third to the other things that we do. But children for the past, 2020, everything sort of sloughed off, of course, with COVID and things like that. So we're just now ramping back up. Our Sunday kids programs just now started back up. We have two great families who are spearheading that and pulling that back in. But one thing that never stopped was, our choice market that went all the way through the COVID problem and actually tripled in size through that. With all the people that needed services. And we had great partners in the community, both Fort Myers and Fort Myers Beach, to provide hot meals, cold meals, groceries. We went to 2 and 3 times a day, over the year.
So back up to the kids programs. You said you had some families that help out. What are some of the services that you do provide for the kids? Can you be specific?
Well, currently those have picked back up to just Sunday mornings, bringing the little kids back in. During regular church services, sort of get them acclimated. A bunch of new families are around. So that's sort of where we've always started. And then when school comes back in August, our after school program will kick back off, and we'll have that. There's some talk about a late summer camp to where the kids can come and hang out. We did that 2 years ago, or did we do that last year? Oh, we did it last year. So we're going to try to kick that back off. It's a very low key, but let the kids come and hang out just through that for the whole day and eat for a full week.
You guys always do the trunk or treat.
Absolutely.
It's awesome for the kids.
And Halloween's our actual biggest event. We have over 500 people that walk through that property every single year. I mean, we just love Halloween because it's a great place for kids to come, trunk or treat around, and have a safe place to come in.
You did a nice thing in Easter too. You guys did a great Easter egg hunt. I brought my son down there, and
that was our first real Easter. Well, not our first. It's been a long time. Since we've had any sort of Easter, with an actual Easter bunny that came, so that was kind of weird, for it to actually
the bad
show
thing
up.
is my son. He said my son's 7, and he's like, that's a person. I can see their hair. And I keep telling him, hey, listen, Easter bunny can't be everywhere, right? He needs helpers, and sometimes people got to help out.
Got to have help.
But you guys did a great job. I mean, again, we live not too far from where the church is, and you guys are always putting on great things for the kids, and the neighborhood kids always go there, and it's a really great thing for the community. So
let's talk about the market real quick that you mentioned. And is it Wednesdays that you have the parking lot is loaded with vendors and
No, that's that's the farmers market.
Farmers market.
That's on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Okay.
Only through April.
And
May. Sorry.
It's hard to keep track of.
It is.
I get it.
And talk about the coffee, please.
Oh, yeah, the coffee's really good. But coffee was just a way for us to get in and help people in another country. Churches are notorious for giving to what we call foreign missions, so it's a out of our country mission type program. I hate just throwing money anywhere without having some sort of involvement. So our partnership went to local pastors over in Guatemala. I went and met them. We now support a small village of people who has a local pastor who are coffee farmers. And when we first started, we brought over, wasn't even 500 pounds of coffee, sort of really get started in great partnership. We're now bringing over 5,000 pounds a year now.
Crazy.
And every bit of that money goes straight back over to that community. And we've built, we're currently building a small retreat center over there, which is a place for people to go and stay within their village. It's really remote.
So you're bringing in coffee? Or are you selling it at the market? Where can I get some said coffee?
We always sell coffee at the church, of course, if the farmer's market's not on. So every single day of the year, you can buy coffee.
Good to know.
And if it's not open in the middle of the night, you call me and I'll go open it up.
I don't need it that bad. If I can come in early in the morning, not his early in the morning, but my early, 8 o'clock.
And so you're
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We're always open, ready to sell coffee.
And you're selling them by the bag, and
you sell by the bag, ground, whole bean. We sell by the cup. You can get free cup. Just come hang out at the coffee shop. We have Wi-Fi, so we do provide that throughout the week for people to come and
when you go to
use.
When you go to Guatemala, are you going with a group of people that help you out with things? And what's it like in a country like that where people might not know because they never leave Fort Myers Beach?
It's very, very different.
Yeah.
My first trip over there was an inaugural trip, so it was me and another pastor friend from up in Georgia. So we went and met people and sort of got everything sort of on the ground. Since then, our church has gone 3 different times and took a group. And it's very eye-opening because our vision for missions like that is very different. We don't like to go over there and do a bunch of work.
Okay.
We found out that the first time we did, we went over there. No, not because we're lazy.
I don't judge.
But we are kind of
lazy.
No, we went over the first time and the church needed the tile floor put in. So our guys went, put a tile floor in. Well, while they're sitting and putting the tile floor in, they looked up and noticed that all the local men were standing at the windows watching the white guys put the tile in. And it was very bad because those guys should have been working
Doing the
that
work.
day.
Yeah.
And we rolled in as the great white hope we think we are and did the work for them. So that was the last physical project we did that they couldn't do. So now we go over there with pockets full of money and we just pay local guys to do the work. And then we cook their meals for them or we bring the water for them and we become their servants for the time that we're there.
Very cool.
And then we just love on the kid. You know, the village is full of kids. It has a school
Yeah.
in the church that's there. And we've sort of helped put that kitchen and facilities together.
Is that the only country that you've? It's probably a silly question, but is that the only country that you've been to on a mission, or have you gone to others?
And we've been to others. We went to Haiti in the beginning.
How crazy is it now over there? You wouldn't go today, would you?
Oh, sure.
You'd go today. It's chaos right
they went
now.
to their president to Haiti. Their president was just assassinated.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not enjoy Haiti at all. I was not there.
No.
I mean, I didn't leave anything there, so I don't have to go back and get it.
Well,
But
that's a good thing. Have you left things in other countries that you
no,
had to
I
go
don't
back
think so. I don't think so. But I would go back to Guatemala, of course.
Not that he's going to admit to, at least.
Yeah. So, anything else about the markets or anything that we might have missed on there before?
Well, our farmers markets, like I said, is the Wednesday, Friday
Mhm.
deal. On Thursdays, year round is our choice market, which is our food, grocery help. You know,
Yeah.
I hate to say giveaway and things like that because it's just a total different mind shift from how food pantries go. So I hate to call it a food pantry. It is a food pantry,
Yeah.
but I don't like calling it that. It's a market for people to come and get food.
Okay. Now, during the COVID, was how did you guys deal with that and still have services? Did you do them all online, or you just no service? What happened to God?
Okay,
took
so
a
I gotta
break
be
too?
real. Okay, so I gotta be honest, but then everybody gets mad at me. We
He's
ignored.
a preacher, so really can't lie. You can see the
I
struggle.
know, I'm
You can see
struggling, right?
You can see the struggle in
Well, he
his
doesn't
eyes
see
right
he
there.
doesn't see his wife next to him shaking her head and directing the conversation here.
We ignored COVID. Got to say it that way. It's just pretty much.
Oh, okay.
The people
Good
that
for
came, we just had service. The first 2 weeks of COVID, people were scared. Nobody knew anything. And
Sure.
we were the same way. We were like, oh, okay, what's up?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to go show up. I will do online. We did online, of course.
Yeah.
Our online program grew. We got better at technology.
But you were
and
always
things like
doing
We
that,
were always
right?
doing
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
We got better. But we just decided we're going to have it. And if
Nice.
people want to come, people are smart enough to know how to
figure it
act
out.
and be normal people. So we did that. And like I said, for 2 weeks, we dropped off to about 25 people. After that, we were back pretty much to normal.
Nice.
Season was horrible because not everybody even came
Right.
to
That's
Fort
right.
Myers Beach.
Yeah.
But we grew during season 2. You know, when people started to venture out, we were the first place they came.
So, what's the membership like? I know that's not the right question, but is
Size of
the
the
relationship
congregation
with
is probably
God?
the right word.
I
Size
don't-
of
Yeah,
the
when
listen,
you
if
say
I
like,
needed
is
somebody
it-
interrupting me, I'd pull my wife up on the screen. More people getting closer to God these days, or is it the same? Or I mean, it's not like you're out recruiting and putting flyers in the mailboxes and stuff like that, or is that just a dumb question?
Not a dumb question, but not really measurable.
All right.
Because we don't measure it. I mean, I'm sure there are the convention that we belong to would probably tell you there's plenty of ways to measure it. I just don't subscribe to them.
Okay.
Because then you lose the personal feel, you lose the reason that I believe we're even here, and it's the relationships with community and people. So for me to measure whether you're getting close to God would me then start watching how you act, and then decide if those behaviors look like God behaviors, and then I got to hide my behaviors so that you don't see that my behaviors look just like your behaviors, and then I start thinking whether I'm close to God or not. So then everything closes up. So not a stupid question. There's not a real answer.
So you can measure somebody. You guys can measure somebody about whether.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would
Okay.
have to do that,
'Cause
and I
I-
don't think it's right. There's no way to do
I
that.
see. I see.
She should have jumped in right there at some point to make sure that
Yeah.
I wasn't making that
No,
sound like that was real.
I knew what you said, but that is not in our intention whatsoever. And if you think you can look at somebody and say what they are, who they are,
Yeah.
that's not us. We're not that type. And if you want
That
to
makes you a really good church, but not a really good person.
Yes.
So 17 years is a long time, and maybe I don't understand. I mean, how like the pastor at one of the churches we were going to, they're there for a certain amount of time and then they move to different communities, and then it's like they want to move people around and stuff like that. But you're solid here. It sounds like you're not going anywhere. And
Well, there's no they in our quote denomination.
Okay.
So the Baptist Church is what's considered autonomous as far as individual churches go. So it's up to the congregation of the church whether they like me or not. That's just the hard.
did they take a vote on
Yeah, so they
after
take a
every
vote.
Sunday? And
Probably
they do take a
mentally,
vote.
yes. Mentally, yeah. Yeah. So if you have a number of bad sermons in a row, people are going to get pissed off and kick you out. Maybe that's just the hard black
Yeah.
and white answer to
Yeah.
that question.
But people don't understand that Sean's goal in life was not to become a pastor. We weren't.
All right, now we need to know this story. What did Sean want to be?
An astronaut.
Oh,
or
come on.
policeman. No. Literally, I mean, we traveled and sang Southern gospel. So she's the singer. So
Can you sing us a song right now?
No.
Yeah, too
Okay.
early
All
this
right.
morning.
Too early.
She
Gotcha.
didn't bring her band. That's what it was. So we traveled and sang Southern gospel 2 or 3 years. And I basically just packed her equipment around,
Okay.
because she was just that good at it. And then as that progressed, it became little mini revival sermons and things like that at different churches around our regional area up in Kentucky. And we really enjoyed that. We thought that was going to be great. And then, the God factor is certainly a part of our life,
Mhm.
right? And so when things happen, we would just respond to them. And an opportunity came up for her family, her mom and dad, to actually come down and run the retreat center that's on our property, which is a 72-bed facility for people, churches and groups to come and spend the night and
Mhm.
retreat and grow better and eat together and spend whatever time. So they came and did that. We technically just followed them down. I mean, I had a draw to the beach, right? She thought it was just the summer. That's what my wife said on the way back the first year that I said, I think God's calling us down there. She's like, oh yeah, duh. You and the rest of the country. And so, and I'm like, no, really, I don't know what it is. I think we should go. And she's like, well, I'm not going. My parents live here. Your parents live here. This is our home. And I'm like, okay. So up.
Where was that?
In Henderson, Kentucky.
Okay. Kentucky.
So behold, God just moves their parents,
Yeah.
drags them down here, and we have to come.
And your parents too.
My parents are right behind us.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Hurricane Charlie summer, we came down. As soon as Hurricane Charlie hit, I was able to tell, the church, we had already came and sang for them once.
Okay.
So I was able to tell the church, I'm like, well, you can blame Hurricane Charlie, for me learning some lessons here, because I told him, I said, God told me to come, but he didn't tell me to bring all my stuff, because our entire belongings were destroyed in Hurricane Charlie because they were in a storage garage across the street from the church.
Sean likes to talk a lot.
Yeah.
I was answering questions.
I know you didn't answer his question.
Oh.
The question is this was not a job for us.
Oh, yeah.
We came in and we loved it, and we liked what we were doing. We love this community feel. And if something were to happen, we would never go be pastor again somewhere else. This is not
that's a good point.
This
So-
is not a.
It's not a career move.
Right. You're not.
Right.
Yeah. Right. You're not making $1 million,
No.
and yeah, I hear what you're saying, but you love it, right? 17 years is a long
No,
time.
don't love it at all. And that's the pull. That's the dichotomy.
What do you
of
mean you don't
is
love it
that-
at all?
So my what you would call in the spiritual world, my flesh says, why are you doing this? You're literally making no money. This is a headache every single day you wake up. We just started watching Yellowstone. Y'all like Yellowstone?
Yeah.
I feel like John Dutton.
Yeah.
You get up and I look at the day and I'm like, what is it going to bring me today
Yeah.
that I've got to deal with? Right. He said that in one episode and I'm like, yeah, I get that. And no, but in my spirit, I'm like, but I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And that's the pull. Because I teach that if you're out and you're just having a grand old time and life's just going smoothly, I think you probably ought to question, the God teaching is the world's going to push back at what you're doing when you're doing the right thing, because there's supposed to be this.
So
Wait.
There's
question-
supposed
okay.
to be a rub between you and the world.
what are the biggest challenges you have then? You're running a church. I'm not demeaning what you're saying.
No,
What I'm
I-
asking is like, okay, so you wake up today, it's like, okay, what is your biggest, is it,
It would be
is it
your
to raise enough money? Is it to,
Oh, no.
okay, so money's not the problem. Is it to get enough? The
money's
word
the
out
problem. Money's absolutely the problem, but I have to put that on the second shelf, and then wait for the guys of the world to come to me and go, Hey, my wife just left me. Hey, my kids are off the rails. Hey, I'm addicted. I don't know how to get over it. Hey, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Or the town coming and giving you a violation for something.
Right. We
5
dealt
times
with
a
that
week,
for a long time.
telling you can't do this, you can't do this, and
So then you
don't
you
get
battle
us
that.
started.
Yeah. So, what would you do if you weren't doing this?
I would go run an RV park somewhere.
Nice. Yeah.
The red coconuts right down.
Yeah.
It's not for sale.
So, the part about when people come up to you and say they're addicted and they're getting divorced and they're in an emotional wreck, how do you deal with all that? Like one time after another. You're not a therapist, right?
I am a therapist.
Okay, you are.
sometimes.
All right.
Am I a licensed one? Only in certain areas. Only up to an extent, and that's just part of the struggle. Knowing your limitations as far as what people need, knowing when to hand that off, knowing to be able to talk to somebody and go, yeah, I can get you here, and now I can give you a contact information, or I can make some calls for you, and I can get you here, but I'm sort of out of the game now.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's talk about I know homeless is the wrong word. What's the right way to describe them? People without a home.
No, I think we talked about that before.
Yeah.
If you live outside on Fort Myers Beach, but you live on Fort Myers Beach, you still call Fort Myers Beach your home.
Right.
So what do we call them? Houseless? I think they start calling it houseless or something like that. But
so let's start
we'll
with
stick with homeless.
Yeah.
because
So let's
everybody
start with the services that you provide. So people that might not know, it's a pretty big audience right now. People that might not know, explain what you have there and what they call it and all that stuff. And
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
I don't provide any services to the homeless.
Okay.
I have homeless who participate in all of our services, but I don't provide any. There are none tailored to homeless because a homeless ministry is something that you would find in an urban area, in like a cityscape, things like that. Ours is we've never picked out any sort of subculture and said we really need to target those people, and give somebody a label, those people. We looked at our whole community and said, there's a lot of people hungry here. I don't know where they live.
Mm-hmm.
And so Choice Market is what people typically see as our outreach for what they would say was our homeless services. But literally it's of the people that come to our Choice Market, we feed still around 1,000 mouths a month.
Wow.
So of that, 20 people are homeless. So what that percentage?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Did you want to jump?
Yeah.
I don't
No,
want you to
no,
hold anything back. If it looks like you're
we have every Sunday morning we have full breakfast. We don't do it for the homeless to feed the homeless. We do it because that's Sean Kritzer. He wants to be different. He wants to love on people, love on our community. People that come to our church every Wednesday night, at church we have free dinner. And so, as I agree with Sean, we're not doing anything particular. We don't have a homeless ministry, but if you're hungry, they know, and they're our friends.
So that's the first misunderstanding I think some people have, is that you're running something down there that's specifically for the homeless, and it's not. It's something that's available to anybody that might be hungry. Or what about the showers and stuff like that you hear people at some of the committee meetings talk about, that there's showers down there? Are there?
There are probably 5 people per day that use our showers, and 3 of them per day are just beachgoers.
Mm-hmm.
So we provide free beach parking for the beach access across the street.
Okay.
In our parking lot, as long as the parking lot's not being used for an event.
When you say you can feed 1,000, or you do feed 1,000 people, where does all that food come from?
The majority of it comes from Harry Chapin Food Bank or Midwest Food Bank. We have 2 different partners. We have partners with Publix. And then we have people all around the community who will just bring food. We encourage them to just bring us money if they want to give that way. For the reason, food pantries are notorious for taking a bag, sticking any food that was just given to them, and handing it to the next person that walks past them. And what we found out is 90% of that food gets thrown back into a dumpster. And I don't care if you're homeless or just a guy who drove up and didn't have enough money this week to buy his food. They will still look in that food and go, I'm not eating that. So when we call it Choice Market, we go buy food that normal people eat. That just, how many canned yams do you eat in a week, right?
I don't eat canned yams.
But if you look at a food pantry, a normal food pantry, it's full of dented canned yams. Nobody just wants to eat that crap, or Spam, or Vienna sausages. We have a few of those things because some people like it. But the majority of our food is stuff that you and I go to the grocery store and buy because that's the people who are coming to our market.
And you'll take people that want to help you out or donate with the food.
We do.
How do they do that?
So most people just come by in their trunk throughout the week. They'll come to the office. They go, hey, I brought some food over. A lot of people at the end of season, if it's unopened, they've bought a bunch of food to have at their condo or their house, and they weren't able to use it all. They'll come and give it to us, and we'll give it away. That's a great resource. So that food doesn't go to waste.
I don't think I've ever eaten any Spam in my life. I don't even know what it is. So I can understand why. Yeah.
I'm told you got to fry it.
Yeah, you got
Fine.
to fry.
There's my wife is watching us from Utah, and she's sitting in front of the mountains and has a question. Go ahead, dear. The floor is yours.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming on the show. I wish I was there sitting next to you, although I'm pretty happy sitting here as well. I just wondered if you could tell us, have the numbers that you've seen, have they gone up or gone down since COVID and in the most recent past?
Oh, so if there's been a trend. Well, COVID, everything skyrocketed. We went from 1,000 miles a month to over 2,000 meals a week, both in hot and grocery foods. After, of course, our hot meals slowed down because people didn't really need that anymore. Once unemployment and things like that started kicking in, you just see the trends. People are people. Nobody's really out taking advantage of that free food that we've got sitting in the parking lot and things like that. Since then, our numbers are still elevated since before pre-COVID, but they're not elevated to a point that it's like, oh wow, we've got a really big problem. So they're probably the 1,000 at this point a year at 1,000 miles. That number should be about 800. So I would say we're at an uptick of maybe what's that, 20%? Currently. I suspect that's going to continue to drop down to its normal numbers, and I feel by August, September we're back in the regular numbers.
So let's talk about specifically the homeless, the people the people that sleep on the beach, the people that shower here in Lynn Hall Park, the people that take craps in front of
parking meters.
Yeah,
right.
The people that you talk to, some of the people that are the homeless. When you talk to them, are they trying to get lifted up? Are they mentally ill? Or what is the kind of vibe that you're getting, the feedback that you're getting from people that you talk to?
Sure. Yes. All of it. Once again, you take any subculture, and I say that in the broad sense. I could sit here. We never ask the question, are all men abusive? But yet in the subculture of men, some are abusive, right? Mm-hmm. They're just a piece of crap that don't know how to be men. Are all women psychos? Whatever. No, but in that subculture, there's absolutely some. So in the subculture of those who don't have houses to go home to.
Why'd you pick this?
Those men and women, right?
Walking a fine line right there,
Okay, you got to go to the broad sense demographic. That's men and women. And now
she's shaking her head over there.
He's a pastor and he likes to hear himself talk.
You got to start there. You got to start there, though, because so now, yes, in our broad sense of people who don't have houses, there are some who are mentally ill. There are some who have zero desire to go any different. They enjoy it. They love living off of everybody else, right? They absolutely. They're going to live for free for the rest of their life. They're going to die out on the streets. Mm-hmm. But then there's the broader percentage of people, of all of those guys, of that sub, that want to do something. Yeah. And they're the ones that ask. They're the ones that come to me, or they just like the guy who's having trouble at home, who comes to me and goes, this is what I desire. This is what I would like to get to. I will then sit with them and we will lay out those steps. Okay, we got to go. Let's step one, right? Is it an addiction? Is it a substance abuse problem? Is it just you have no life skills? Is it do you just need to take a shower to get cleaned up to go to your interview? Because you would not imagine the amount of people who could get a job, literally could get a job if they could get presentable enough to go have a good interview, so that the next paycheck they could at least move into a motel room, albeit a horrible motel room, but at least start making those steps forward. But they're stuck in this first cycle that's like, I don't even know how to get the job.
So I think that's a good generalization of what's happening. Let's talk about, to me, the question comes down to the ones, the problematic ones. So the percentage that, again, the ones that are very aggressive, the ones, I mean, I have video of them, mixing drinks on the beach and just being very belligerent. What do you say to the people that say that you're enabling those people to stay on the beach because of what you do?
Yeah, I've never even understood the word enable, because once again, if I took away every service that we do at our church, we would just have to build condos, because that's all we've got going on. It's just service. So I once again, I just don't understand what that means. If we did not allow someone who's homeless to come and get food, then they're going to go eat some other way. Desperation is the mother of all invention, is what I say, not the other thing. So they're going to get very creative. So I think robberies go up. I think crime goes up. I think a lot of stuff goes up when we pull it. Now, there's plenty of services that our town could grab from the county. We could get a deeper partnership. I've reached out to get a deeper partnership with the Lee County Homeless Coalition. I'll just be honest with you. We don't have the numbers. We don't have the numbers of homeless on the beach to cause a concern to the Lee County Homeless Coalition.
Really?
They're dealing with a larger number in Lee County.
Sure. Yeah.
And there's not enough resources for them. So I'm not slighting them at all. I'm just saying we're the low man on the totem pole in Lee County, and we just don't have a big enough problem, quote,
in their eyes.
Well, from any sort of data tabling, we're just not there. And that's all they're going off of is numbers on paper.
Well, sometimes it only takes one homeless that's mentally ill to kill a librarian, though.
Exactly.
That's all it takes. And just like when Twin Towers went down in 9/11, everybody's really on edge for about a year.
Right.
And everybody's really in tune for about a year. And everybody's calling me going, hey, how can I help?
Yeah.
For about a year. And then it disappears.
So, Sean, is it safe to say that the people that want to be homeless are not the ones coming to the church and asking for food, or is there a mix of some of them are coming because they know you have food? Is there any way to tell?
There's not a way to
Okay,
tell.
all right.
I have a really close relationship with the sheriff's department, so they're constantly there. If any member of society is running from the police or have some sort of record with them, I don't normally see them because the presence of the sheriff's department is so strong there. Right, we're working to make it even stronger. Right, we're trying to get a portion of the community center there, which is what we've always wanted. A really tight knit with leaders and government officials and sheriff's department and all that stuff. Because I don't think anybody, no matter where they live, I don't think anybody should have the run of our community and be able to have ill will. Right, so I think anybody who has access to the community, general public at large, should be partnering with local officials.
Kim's got another question from Utah. Go ahead, lovely wife.
Oh, thank you. You were just talking about you would like a deeper connection with the Lee County Homeless Coalition to get more services. What additional services would be of benefit or are in need down at the beach?
It's the things that when I do encounter somebody who wants more help, who desires the next step that I can't provide, they have the resources to maybe get them into a program. I talked to a sheriff the other day, and he was like, so the triage program is for us to transport people who are homeless, but who desire the next step. So that triage program up at Saliscara. So if we have a good connection with the police department, and then we find someone who is ready and willing and wants to go the next step, then we'd be able to make one phone call, have them there, here we go, and make that step. But then we could also have the information that the Homeless Coalition has to hand to somebody to say, here are some resources for you. I'll help you get to the next one. But, in a sense, I don't know every program that the Homeless Coalition has available to them.
Have you seen an increase, a decrease, or has it stayed the same as far as the numbers any way to tell? Any way in new faces that?
I think the numbers have gone way down over the years. I mean,
Okay.
when we, back in the 2008, 9, 10 range, we were 60 and 70, quote, registered homeless people on the beach. And we started a program to where we ID'd everyone. We worked with the town and got everybody an ID. It was just, yes, I've been here. People know I'm here and such. That number dropped into the 20s about 2 years ago. And it sort of stayed the same. And they're very transient. So yes, there's new faces, but then certain faces disappear. There's 2 or 3 people that don't have homes that are here all the time.
Yeah,
they live
everybody
here.
knows them by name.
They live here.
Yeah,
they're just part of our community.
Yeah. And they're harmless for the most part. Right? They're not looking to.
Not that I know of. Yeah, they're not looking to do anything wrong, and they're so integrated in our community that if they are causing a problem, people are by name. Dude or lady, move on. Let's go.
Yeah.
You can't be like, you can't act like that today any more than anybody else sitting on that bar stool over there could start acting like an idiot and not be told you need to leave today.
One of the things that you correct me if I'm wrong, please, that I notice is missing is that I don't really see. Maybe there's some behind the scenes stuff, and maybe there is that you can clarify for me. I don't really see the town government communicating with the county government on that issue specifically. I think they could be working together more. Like if you're constantly talking to the county about this issue, then something will happen. And I just think that every once in a while it comes up in a meeting, or it comes up at a committee meeting where somebody says something and uses the word enable, but nothing gets done at the town council level. And is there something I'm missing, or is that the way it is?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And this is totally me asking the question. What is the county? When we're saying the county, we need help from the county, what are they going to do? Well, the
county established hot teams, which was a combination of the sheriff's department and mental health professionals, and they would go out and talk to the folks that were in Fort Myers and see what they needed, or see if they wanted something, or move them to the Salvation Army or something like that. Does the hot team ever come down to Fort Myers Beach, or does do anybody from the Homeless Coalition come to the church and say, how can we work together more on helping the folks out, or like you say, is it just
if that's what they want to do?
Okay.
I mean, if you're asking the question, and are they coming to help? Is the real question, what are we doing to get them out of here? Is that the real question?
I think that there's a certain number of people on the beach that would prefer that.
Oh, absolutely.
If you got,
but you can't do that.
No, you can't. And if you got really nitty gritty, the county would love for them to leave the county.
Sure.
My daughter's in LA County for the past 4 weeks, and she's going to be here for another couple. Population of 4 million in Los Angeles, 1 million of them are actually homeless, and they actually live on the street.
Yeah.
Like literally now have law where you can't remove their stuff off the street. Now, so everybody comes up with a solution, but in the back of their minds, their goal is to move them along.
Sure.
And that is, I can't say that our town has that mentality, but unless they're totally different than any other town, they probably have that mentality. We need to find a way for them to leave here, because it usually only comes up when there's a problem, whether it's a great big problem or just somebody in the community who got bothered by somebody.
Yeah.
And now that became a little wedge, and they found an ear and they start talking about it. There's no constant integration. No. The answer to your question is no.
Should
there's no constant
there be,
integration.
or is there's not big enough a problem?
If it's a problem, then it's a big enough problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I take it if a community member has a problem, then it's a big enough problem to be talking about. But that person needs to be able to come. They need to come to me, or they need to have an ear that they can actually go to, and not just an email to a government website that gets them nowhere, that just becomes a blurb on a county council meeting, which I'm hearing you say. They need to be able to talk to a person who interacts with people, who might know the whole story, who might be able to say, how can I get a little quicker help? Because if somebody's trespassing on your property, for instance, we had that issue, right? There's an answer for that. That's not the homeless need to leave. That's an answer for that.
Right.
And our sheriff's department came in and said, absolutely, we're going to respond to that immediately. And I can tell you the response times on the beach from the sheriff's department right now, astronomically awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the fact, and it's not because there's multiple cops. they're spread out now. You know, we've worked with them.
Something's changed over the last few months where it's gotten yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The community center that they had set up has brought their presence here. And like I said, they have spread out. They do park at our property so that they don't have to respond all the way. I mean, you've seen traffic in June now.
Back up. I think you went over that too fast. And we do need to talk about that. What used to be the community center at the building that's going to be part of Margaritaville with the sheriff's big picture on it now it's going to be at the Beach Baptist Church, correct?
Just a portion of it.
Okay,
so
explain
we're
that.
not. It'd be no good to take a community center all the way to the church because then
It's too far
local
away.
residents who are walking around too far away from Times Square. So the concept or the goal would be to get them down here in another building, but land is not just that available. So I think next step is they're going to put a mobile unit down here somewhere they can find to park it with someone as a kiosk that residents or visitors, tourists can walk up to and go, "Hey, I need this from you." Right?
Yeah,
And
I
they get that immediately.
I think they're looking at somewhere in that bottom area where that empty spot is at the end of the bridge there. Which
Right, exactly.
Obviously would be a perfect
Great.
spot for it.
But
yeah.
then they also do larger community events. They do coffees with, I think it was Coffee with Cops or
Right.
something like that. Integration with, there was some pet programs they do. They're wanting to deal with condo associations. They're wanting to have meetings with larger groups of people. That's the type of program that will go to the church, right?
Yeah.
But then also we're hoping to bring like the beach ATVs and things like that, park them under the church, and they'll be able to have a central location there. But then also in season when traffic's crazy, deputies can come and do their work in the building.
Yeah.
Have a place to cook their lunch or have lunch, sit inside for a minute, get out of their car. They just got to get out of their car.
Do you go ahead, Greg?
So you said some things I think that are important. One is, it seems to me that government's way of solving the homeless problem is to push them somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's not solving the root of the problem, right? You buying them houses aren't going to solve the problem.
No.
So, and the lack of I don't want to say available mental health, but most of the people who don't want help are mentally ill. I mean, that's
Who don't want help?
the people who don't want. I don't want any assistance. I'm going to be homeless. I'm going to live here. That's what I'm going to do. They have some mental health.
How do you
issues
know
they
that?
can-
How do you-
just-
how do-
there's
how do-
statistics around that.
There are a few statistics, but
I
I
think you
can,
just
I
made
can
that up.
introduce you to, I know of two people who aren't mentally ill who just choose to live outside. I mean,
You don't think that's
kinda
that
like-
is
no, because
I
if you watch
agree.
YouTube enough, there's a
No,
bunch
I
living in
agree.
vans.
Who do you
No.
agree with,
Yeah.
Greg or?
Yes, I agree with that a little bit because I think that survival and it just it kind of gets in and then you get a attitude of I just don't care anymore and
and I think that,
So,
that,
yeah,
mental
I
health
agree.
is one of those things that is curable. Right? It is one of those diseases that if you get treatment, you can be cured of mental health diseases, but you have to sort out treatment. These people aren't going to go sort out treatment.
Dude, you work
Right?
on computers. Can we stick to the
Yeah,
subject?
listen,
You
my
have no
ex-wife had
idea.
a-
You're way
my
out of your
ex-wife
range
was a-
there.
was
You're
a-
a computer
But
guy.
we do we do have people that come into our church that, and I'll never forget this. And one of our friends, she said, she was giving him a ride home after church, and she said, don't you just hate this? Which I would never say that, but she's like, and he was like, what are you talking about? Why would I hate this?
Well,
I live on
yeah,
the beach.
yeah.
This is
That's
the
part
greatest.
of the. That's part of the thing is if you're going to be homeless, how could you be
Absolutely.
Fort Myers Beach? I mean, it's
Right.
it's
It's a great place to
it's
live and
never
visit.
gonna- It's hardly ever going to snow on you
That's
when you're down here. So
So how often has the town council come to you in partnership to say, how can we help solve the problem? Is they reach out? She's shaking her head like never. But
After Leroy was killed.
that was the impetus that took.
And there was a great integration for a while. I'm not gonna
and
lie.
it stopped at some point. Like
It
you're
just
saying.
faded.
Yeah.
I don't really think it's your problem to solve, right? I mean, I think
No.
that your church's
Once again,
role
I
is
don't want to be the
empathetic.
guy who solves homeless problems.
Right? No,
Because-
because people are hungry. You want to feed them. That's,
Just want to feed
that's
people
kind
who
of
are
the goal of the church.
Are there-
I get that.
Go ahead.
Can I bring in one aspect that
For sure.
I'm not sure you three men can go. There is an emotional aspect to this. These guys, these people that come to our church are our friends. And so to sit here and you talk about them and it's like, it's hard for me to listen to people talk bad and tell we're enabling and everything, but these people, we love these people. I've gotten so close to so many people and they're my friends.
Those people are dangerous, right? I mean, I've had those people. I mean, I have video of those people threatening, not those people, but I don't want to use that word. That's bad. But I have video of homeless people basically threatening my wife. He says, I'm going to kill you. Like, because, they're sitting at the bus stop doing stuff in front of kids they shouldn't be doing.
I understand that.
Right? So
I understand that, but I'm in a
way-
different position. You understand? I'm in a different position. I'm at the church. They see me. He is wonderful. They love him.
Who doesn't love this guy, right? I mean,
Absolutely. And I'm just along for the ride. They only put up with me because of him. But
And because you can sing.
well, yeah, maybe. But they don't, and it's
For
there
some
is
reason,
a
I think
relationship.
the person that he's talking about is probably not the person that's coming to you.
Well, no, but listen, I get it. There are people, but there's some of them I don't like.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them to their face, but I don't like them because they don't
But you're
like
talking
'em.
about the general public, not a homeless person.
No,
I
I'm
don't know
talking
where they
about
live when I meet them. I don't know their situation.
But a
when
few
I
that
first
don't.
meet somebody,
Absolutely.
and there's been quite a few times where
There's
I
that-
find out, I'm like, oh, you're homeless.
Yeah.
And this is like weeks after we've had a relationship, right?
Mhm.
Or you've
Mhm.
come to our church and you've come and sit in a regular service, right? And then we find out
Absolutely, but still, honey, we know the homeless.
we know the current ones. Yeah, I'm talking about. We know our long time.
I'm not scared. I'm not. And but of course, I'm not afraid to die either.
Yeah.
So if that's my way to go, I'm never.
What's the best way to go? I mean, if you got to
It's
go.
not fire or water. Those
No.
are the only two that I've ruled out.
Drunk with a smile on your face. Right?
Yeah. So the
Fall off
serious,
your bar stool anytime.
I have a really serious question for you, Sean. So that you have the two earrings, right? And if you turn that way, when you turn that way to look at your wife, I saw something that it looks pretty painful to me. The one in the ear.
Oh, it's an illusion.
What the hell
It's an
is
illusion.
that?
It's
And
really cool.
Why
You're
do
gonna
you
want
have
one.
something
Are you
in
sure you
your?
want me to show you?
I don't know
You're
if
gonna
it's
want
going to
it.
gross me out,
It's
but
not. Watch.
what?
It
I
just
see.
looks like it
Okay.
goes through
So
twice.
I don't think I've ever seen. Now I don't hang out in churches. I know that's probably a bad thing to say, but I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that watches
I was going
the
to say, am I
show.
supposed to go?
No, but I don't think I've seen a pastor with as many tattoos as you have. Like, did you add more on since the last time you were here, or are you're
Yes.
done? Okay, which is the new one? What's the new one?
Well, it's grandkid stuff. Since then was.
Yeah, that's right, folks. You heard they have grandkids. He
we have a
doesn't
lot
look
of
old enough
grandkids.
to have
we got
kids.
one. We got one due in 5 weeks. 4
So you have 4 grandkids.
We have a 5-week-old and one due in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
5-week-old. Now, okay, so the
Look at, oh no, current one, newest ones. Okay, so my
Oh,
daughter.
okay,
so
gotcha.
my granddad name is Batman.
Yeah.
So my grandkids call me Batman.
Nice.
So that would be the newest one after the multiple grandkids.
You're
have shown
you're
up. So
running
that-
out of room, Sean, to put tattoos on. So
Right.
what's
I have
what's
lost a lot of weight, so I don't.
have you lost a lot of weight?
Yeah.
How much weight have you lost?
You should have brought that up.
I
at the
didn't
very
notice
beginning
that you were
look
heavy the
smaller.
last time. Did you say I look smaller? Because I hope you didn't say that.
No, I
that
didn't
would
say
hurt my feelings. So
Oh, that's
how
right, I
much
forgot.
weight did you
Sorry, I
lose?
meant that. 26 pounds.
Just drinking the coffee at the church.
That's it. That's absolutely right. If you want to lose weight, come see me at Beach Baptist. And I
How'd
will
you
get
do
a
it?
cup.
What'd you do?
My daughter-in-law talked us into going vegan for like 6 weeks.
Oh, my
And
wife's
that
a
was like
vegan,
this-
damn it.
It was like a jump start.
Yeah.
I really liked it. So it cut a lot of crap out of our diet that really
Yeah.
wasn't. I'm also a glutard, they call us. So I had to be gluten-free. So that helped.
Yeah.
It just changed diet. I worked out a lot for a while.
Yeah.
I got tired of that. But
Nice.
That's my problem. I won't eat anything that didn't have a mother. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, nice.
So
Opposite
very
vegan.
well. Congratulations. Are you done losing weight, or
No, I hope not. I mean,
got a few more pounds to lose?
she likes me thin. So
Yeah. All right. So
When her
how long
eye
have you
starts
two
to
been
not-
married? 27 years. Well, I
is that
think
going to
we're-
be 27 or are we 27 now?
I think we're coming up on 27
I
too,
think it's
by the
27
way.
in
So
December.
just out of curiosity, how much does a pastor make?
He likes to. He wants to know what everybody makes.
Oh, that's I don't
It's
care
a
to tell you.
thing.
We're absolutely because churches are public information.
Yeah.
I make in cash $400 a week.
Cut it
And then-
out.
And then I have a house on the property.
Wow.
So in cash, I have
$400 a
yeah.
week. How can you live off of $400 a week?
We have a choice market that we can go get
stop
food.
it. Cut it out.
I eat a lot there.
Do you
My
get,
wife has her own business.
Okay.
So she runs a house.
is that because you're
Some
only
side
a,
hustles. Side hustles.
is that because you're only allowed to make $400 a week, or
No, that's just all as an autonomous. See, if I worked in a denomination who paid your salary,
yeah?
and you were just somebody's employee, it would be totally different. But as an autonomous, so our congregation is, so our budget is not this huge $1 million budget.
It's the original.
I
value
need to
provided.
ask you about this. Thank you, Kristen,
good.
for
I was-
reminding me about
one.
this. I need to ask you about this. The beach preacher, the crazy guy that shows the pictures with the dead baby.
Talk.
And come on, man, can't you guys? What's up with that? We got to. It's
All
killing business.
he wants is attention. If everybody would turn their head and never even give him a look, he will stop.
But the
He's
problem
not any
is,
different than me in that sense.
but the
that if
problem
there's
is
no
he's
audience-
doing it in Times Square and he's disrupting.
Yeah,
his soul.
agree.
If he
And
was doing it somewhere else, I would agree with you. But he's doing it
if you
right.
just go and look at his YouTube page,
For sure,
he's
yeah.
trying to get someone to
To
argue
sucker
with
punch
him
him, yeah.
so that he can put the video up and he becomes a martyr. Now, I'm not going to, I can't, I wouldn't go after him anymore than I go to anybody else. It's absolute nuisance. I agree with you 100%. He is not in, I would not agree with his method at all,
Mhm.
but it's his method, right? But literally, if the audience disappears, the preacher disappears. Period. End of story.
That's
I
the
wouldn't even
problem
call
with.
this stuff a method. He's
But
just
that's
a
the problem
producer.
with being in the public square. The audience will never disappear. They're
I
just
know.
walking by.
I know.
It's is God looking down on him and saying, "Good job, Adam."
I don't know. I don't really actually
Is he
get.
smiting?
I don't actually get a.
You don't
red
get a
line
phone
to
call
God
every
to find
Sunday?
out about God.
How do you know for sure when you hit a home run on Sunday like that? The crowd. I had him on the edge of my seat.
This one?
And
They
does he
throw
ever
money.
lay? Does he ever lay an egg? Like what's better? Luke better than some of the other
Three out of
apostles?
four. Three
Three
out
out-
of four Sundays.
Lay an egg?
Yeah.
No. That
Holy crap, man!
Oh,
You're laying a lot of eggs.
Egg's bad.
egg is bad.
Yeah, no, we're not. We don't want to lay eggs. We
Oh no, once a month,
once a month he lays
and
an
he's
egg.
good when he's bad.
Yeah.
Just kind of boring.
So is he? Is it because of the way he approaches it, like motivational wise, or he's just got the right message? Or do you guys sit around Saturday and go
No.
over like the paperwork and say, "Oh man, pull that.
I have
one,
no
pull that
idea.
part- pull that part of it out. You're gonna bore them."
No, I have no idea. I'm his congregation every Sunday morning, just like anybody that
Yeah.
comes. But he, I've always said he couldn't decide whether he wanted to be a preacher or a comedian.
Nice. Well, that's good. That's a good combination to have,
And
though, because if you
so
ever
he-
been to a Catholic church,
No, you don't know. That's not.
up
That's
and
not
down,
our
up
style.
and down, up and down, it's
Yeah.
crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I was
So do you ever look down? Does she sit in the first row?
She used to. Now she sits straight in my eyesight up an aisle.
Do you ever look down and she's like, "Oh God, this is an egg," and
No, I know I'm bad if she's got her phone out.
oh yeah, she's watching.
If
Who's
she's on YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah.
Shake, or shopping.
Or shopping on
she's-
Amazon.
Oh boy, she's
Time
not
to wrap-
watching that.
Time to wrap it up.
What's that? What's that one preacher guy that's a motivational guy on Sunday? That is what's his
Joel
name?
Osteen.
Joel Osteen. Yeah, you're not watching that, are you? No,
Yeah,
Scott.
if she's out there switching churches on
That
me,
would, that's
in
is that a
the
different
digital
church?
world,
Yeah, I
that's
don't
a-
even know.
that's a problem.
So
you write
let-
out your sermons beforehand, or you just kind of have an
You know-
idea and just wing it?
Yes.
Good.
what?
So
What? Yes,
I
to
write
what?
it out,
You
but
wing it.
then I wing it. I've
Do you know
every Sunday I look down and didn't do my notes.
Do you know the Bible from the front to the back? Like
I've seen the front and the back.
okay,
yes.
it's
Hey, me
quite a
too.
big book to memorize, though, right?
Oh yeah, I absolutely
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
Do you read the Bible every day
Yes.
or every day?
Yes.
Like a certain time, or just feel like
I wake up to it. Absolutely.
you wake up to it at the spot you left off, or you pick a spot that you want to read?
Just like anything else, religion has become digital, and
Yeah.
so has spirituality. So all of my stuff's on my phone. So
Yeah.
I have an app called YouVersion.
Hmm.
Shameless plug for a free app called YouVersion. Has the Bible. It'll wake you up with today's. Just
What was today's?
sort of. I haven't done it today yet.
Oh,
But I had to come to
yeah,
you.
I thought you said when you woke up.
Well, unless I'm coming to Beach Talk Radio.
Not everybody's had their full day in. before
Debbie
they
wants
get
to.
to
Debbie
Some
wants
have
to know
been
what
up that
business
long.
you run.
Eagle Custom Cleaning Service.
Is that on the beach, or you'll go
Mhm.
anywhere?
on the beach.
Very
Like,
nice.
you clean houses on the beach?
Yes.
You got to give me a card.
That's
Sometimes my wife
crazy,
needs a
though.
break and I just
Are-
gotta,
Are you
I
making
need
more
to
than
tire.
$400 a week? I don't answer that question.
Yes,
I have to
she
answer that
is.
question. Nice.
Yes, she
Nice.
is. I am a
So-
kept man.
Nice. So, is there anything else that you think you should be providing, that you can be providing for people that don't have a home?
Oh, this will put me way out there. If I could get the permission, I would build housing temporary, so that people weren't sleeping in people's yards. I'd bring them and put them in beds. That way I would have a little bit more contact with them to find out what our next step could be. I don't want to build like an apartment building or anything like that. I read an article. This guy built a bus. So we build tiny house buses too. That's the other way I make money. And I read where he built a bunk house in this converted MCI bus. And he brings it to communities who are struggling with homeless issues. And so they'll come and they'll stay on the bus for maybe a week. But in that process, it's an intensive program of, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? How can we help you? So they get to shower, you get to go to job interviews, he gets to try to help find them permanent housing. And I'm like, now that's a guy who kind of got his thumb on the pulse of it.
Well, because the first thing you do if you do that, you're getting ripped. People are going to be like, you are that enablement word is going to come out.
Oh, that's what I said. I said if I could have ever gotten permission to do it.
You build them houses, they're not going to go anywhere. And again,
Do you have the property that you could possibly do it?
Sure.
Behind the church?
Sure.
So what's holding you back?
Well, I don't.
The politics?
Probably. Like I said, if I could have gotten permission, but my brain didn't even switch over to the let's go get permission type thing yet.
Does church, I have an off the wall question. I'm sorry, it's hit me, and I gotta ask it for my son. Does church have a dog? You guys have a dog?
Hunter.
No, she has a dog.
Yeah. Hunter is not just your dog. Hunter is a neighborhood dog.
I know,
Yes,
and I want to say this to
Hunter's not homeless.
To the million.
Hunter's homeless.
Y'all keep
Hunter's in my
feeding him.
house all the time.
Y'all
No.
are enabling him
I'm
to
not,
leave our
I
house.
don't feed Hunter. My son knows Hunter. He's the dogs. I'm like, oh, that brown dog's there. He goes, that's Hunter. My son's Millie's Hunter as well. But I go, what do you mean that's Hunter? He goes, yeah, it belongs to the church. I'm like, you're 7. How the hell do you know that? But
Yeah, I would like to
I
tell
just
your
had to ask, so-
billions of followers that Hunter is my dog.
And if the hunter's ever at their house, they should. Did you have him tagged?
You say, yeah, he's tagged.
Okay.
But you just tell him, Hunter, go home.
Hunter, just pat him
After
on
he
the-
eats the hamburger you just gave him.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice. Cheryl would like to know the phone number for your cleaning service.
Who?
I think you're going to get some business. Cheryl is.
I see it.
Yeah. Do you want to give it out?
Sure.
Yeah.
239-233-3848.
233-3848. If somebody could type that
Linda's
in
in
the chat
there.
box.
Look, Linda's up there watching. Linda's her
everybody?
partner, so she
Oh,
can
I
type.
see.
She can
Type
type
it in,
the phone
Linda.
number in there, Linda.
Very nice. So if you get a few.
Linda's wondering why we're still on the show and not at work.
Yeah,
yet.
we're supposed
She's
to be at
wondering.
work.
Oh, okay. Well,
no, we're keeping them.
So, and it's been, holy crap, it's been a whole hour. The affordable housing thing is really an interesting angle because really at this point, there's no affordable housing on Fort Myers Beach for anybody.
Absolutely.
But it would be interesting to see if you pursued that, how far it would get, because I would be interested to see how many people that actually like living on a bench. Every once in a while you see somebody here on the bench, or actually there was a homeless person that started a fire next door because wanted to keep warm, would actually go to something like that, or they would just continue to stay where they stay. So I mean,
think this would be a good test of how many people are listening to your show, how much feedback or how much
Yeah.
flack I get
Yeah.
next week. So thanks
Yeah.
for that.
So
Sorry, but it is the truth. I mean,
yeah,
it's going to
absolutely.
get out, and unfortunately, I kind of feel that way. I think that if you provide, and it's hard. I think if you provide places for homeless people to go, they will come. They will come.
If you build it, they will come. They will come.
That was and this is, I mean, it's again. I live on the island for a reason. It's a great place to be.
it's become an infomercial for your cleaning service. Kristen wants to know if you're going to Fort Myers too, or you have to be on the beach.
I don't have to be. No,
Yeah.
I've
Especially
just never
during
had the
off-season,
opportunity-
right?
well, there isn't an off season yet. I'm
Yeah.
still.
Crazy driving on
Crazy.
this road here. So, any final words you want to say to the folks that think that the Beach Baptist enables the homeless?
I want to change the word from enable to just love. We're just giving. We're loving everybody that walks through that door, trying to make a community of relationship, and we're loving on them like we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I think a good point would be that if our community miraculously found a way to remove homeless people, our services wouldn't change.
Right.
Good
We're
point.
still feeding people.
Our services are, like I said, the percentages are not all of a sudden they disappeared. I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's nobody to give food to. Or,
Right.
oh my gosh, there's nobody to sit around and eat together with.
Well, it's
No.
not like they're contributing to your bottom line, right? I don't mean that in a bad way, but
No, I
again,
understand.
you have to survive, and you have your side hustles and things like that. So it's not like, again, you guys want them to come because they're contributing money to your bottom line, right? So
I'm
get
like I
it.
said, I'm not pinpointing any subculture to say I need
don't
you.
think the homeless problem is yours to solve. Either.
Right.
It's not. I mean, you're there to do what you do, love on people, feed people when they're hungry. You empathize with them. The homeless problem is the government's problem to deal with.
Agreed. Dare, any final questions for our fine guests before we let them get back to their job?
No, I think the point about affordable housing is valid and poignant, because as they said, the percentage of chronically homeless, or the percentage of homeless folks that want to live outdoors, and believe me, I get the lure of living outdoors. So I do get some of that. But there's so many people, I think, that can't get affordable housing. And if they could get that would really be the jump off point for them getting employed and contributing back to the community. But the lack of affordable housing is critical, not just on the beach, but specifically on the beach.
Back to the affordable housing thing.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, Sean's going to build some housing on the property of the church, and we're going to help him get permits and all that. What were we getting a hard time about? Like about code? What was that about? Why would you get code enforcement?
That was a long.
Oh, a long
it started
time ago?
a long time ago. That
Gotcha.
finally it just got finished last year. When I moved to the beach, I was just as stupid as anybody else as far as what you can get permission for. But I was also very rebellious to where you did stuff and then you got forgiveness instead of permission. I wrongly did that in the building world, and so
the rebel pastor, I like it.
We made some modifications to a building. Didn't know we needed a permit actually to do them, and then we're told we did. But then it became this huge battle between me and a former
building person. Yeah.
Who doesn't like preachers at all and liked me a little less.
Yeah. Did you have to pay part of your $400 a week in fines or something like that? Or did you go in front of the magistrate?
I went before the whole council and
Oh, okay.
presented it. It was
That's
the
right.
former council, and we had a great time, a great meeting.
They love you.
And
They
well,
love you.
I think we laid it out enough, and we humbled ourselves to the point where we were like, we're responsible for this. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take care of it.
I
We took
remember
care
that.
of it.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming all the way down here and coming on and sitting with us for the whole hour and setting people straight and explaining what you guys do. And if there's any way that people can donate food and whatever else that you need, how do they do that? If they can help fill up the bins.
Well,
that
they
you have
can.
there.
They can. If you get on our website, all the contact information is there. beachbaptist.org. You can just stop by. We live on the property. Somebody's always there. That's a
cool.
That's a paramount to our church. There's always somebody there because there's always something going on. AA meetings and NA meetings and things like that. So that's always there. So something's going on. So you can just do that. You can give money. You can tie it. But honestly, I'd rather you come by and see what goes on and meet the people on a Thursday who are visiting. All right, volunteer. People are always calling me going, there's nowhere to volunteer on the beach. And I'm like,
What did you just say?
You're just ignorant.
The blue
Actually have the information.
What time Thursday can people volunteer?
We're there from 10 to 3 now. Yeah.
10 to 3. And when can we hear your wife sing?
Every
service?
Sunday morning online or in person at 10:30.
10:30 on Sunday. All right.
That's Facebook Live,
Nice.
Beach Baptist,
Yeah.
or we have a.
Well, put in a good
streaming
word
service.
with God for me. It's going to take more than one. I'm sure you had never heard that before,
Just
right?
never heard that one
So,
before.
is the church just for beach residents, or can anybody?
Oh Lord, no, we have quite a few people who drive a few miles
From
anyway.
elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for
Simcoe.
coming on. Thanks for everything you do for the community, and we appreciate your time today.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Pastor
I
Sean?
got to say real quick, I
Okay.
apologize for the last time I was supposed to be here and really stood you up like a.
He was hungover.
I had to
Yeah.
call your
Yeah,
dad.
fell off the bar stool.
I had to call your dad because they didn't have your number. He's like, I don't know what the hell he's doing. Let me call him.
I did have almost 1 billion people listening, wondering where I was at that week.
Oh,
So
I had people ask me. They were waiting
Yeah,
for you. We had
I
a
did.
good
I did.
audience today, too. So,
Yeah,
but thank you,
absolutely.
guys. Thanks
Appreciate
a lot
it.
for coming
Thanks
down.
for what you guys
How about
do.
a big hand for Pastor Sean and his lovely wife, who you can check out Sunday at 10:30, where she'll be singing online or in person.
Absolutely.
All right. We need to tell you about don'titchit.com, one of our sponsors that's been here for a long, long time. And you can pick them up from the Bait and Wait shop. Don't go anywhere, folks. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hold you guys up. We have a movie trivia coming up. So we're going to give away 2 tickets to the Beach Theater, and you need to get in your spot. To take microphone number 4 with you. He's got the longest cord. He's going to try and read the Tiki Tour ad, so we'll see how that goes, wife. He's going to try and help out with that. But I need to tell you about Don't Itch It. Look at what he's doing here. He's messing everything up. He's in the way. He's making me all kinds of crazy. Don't read it yet. I have to read my ad. Of course, it's DEET-free. And when you spray it on you or you put it on you, it smells delicious. It smells yummy. It's like an aphrodisiac, people. It brings over the opposite sex, and they start sniffing you. And they wonder why you smell so fabulous. And you know what? It's keeping the bugs away. It's keeping the no-see-ums away. It's keeping the flies away. It's, you know what I found out? It keeps away those, what are those turtles? Not those turtles, those frogs that, the frogs that stick to the wall. What are those frogs called? Not Cuban turtles. What are they called? Cuban. What are they? What are they called? I can't remember what they're called. You spray it on. You can spray it on a frog. I sprayed it on an alligator once when I was wrestling once with an alligator, and the thing went running away like a little sissy Mary. But anyway, it's at don'titchit.com or Island Oils LLC. They just signed up for another package of commercials, and you know what that means? That means you need to get right on their website now, because it gets hot and muggy and sticky, and that means that the bugs are out looking for you. And you want to buy something from them. They're local. They're online. They're lovely people. They've been on the show. And Kim's doing something with her finger. Anyway, we're going to turn it over to Greg right now, who's going to read. See how he reads an ad, folks.
Boom, let's do it. And hey, I'll speak up for Island Oils. I got some of this stuff. It takes the itch away. You get bit by no-see-ums, you put some of that stuff on, it's good. Okay, I'm talking about Fort Myers Tiki Tours. If you haven't checked these guys out, you got to check out Fort Myers Tiki Tours, 239-887-0042. They're located behind Cherokee in the Caribbean Grill. It's www. Get a little closer. All right. I don't know where. You need to put an X. Anyways, now you messed up my ad. Here we go. www.fortmyerstikitours.com. You get a private boat for up to 4 people for $119.99. For up to 6 people, it's $179.99. That's total per boat, not per person. So you get the whole tiki boat. Bring your own booze, beer, whatever you want. You know, they'll supply the U.S. Coast Guard captain. They'll get the cooler with ice for you. All the necessary stuff. Bring yourself. Bring your booze. You're gonna have a good time. 90 minutes long. They're going to take you around the bay. Sunset cruises are only $20 more. So you want to go out here. This is the best time, I'm telling you, to go see sunsets out on Fort Myers Beach right now.
Right.
This time of year, it's amazing. The colors are awesome. How better else can you do it on a tiki tour boat? I mean, come on. Sales tax isn't included, but, you know, hey, you all got to pay the man. All boats are properly disinfected if you're worried about COVID prior to taking off. So what you really want to do is right now call 239-887-0042. Make your reservation.
Nice
Back
job,
to you,
Greg.
Ed.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, dear. It looked like you might have had a something that you wanted to say. But first thing I want you to do is grade Greg on his commercial, on his read for your commercial. How did he do?
I think he did great. He really did. He did a good job. Once he got in the right position, which is always your fault, dear, because you don't set people up. But Greg did a great job. A solid B+.
B+. You got a B+. Did you were holding your finger up there like you wanted to say something. What is it? By the way, Dave, Kim's dad says you're cute, but you're no Kim. I don't know how to take that.
I don't know how to take that either.
Yeah.
I don't. But I like Dave. Dave's a good guy.
Yeah.
Good sport.
Did you want to say something, wife? We're going to do some movie trivia
Well,
here, or did you have something that you wanted to add to the conversation? Go ahead.
I wanted to just say again that I hope that the Don't Itch It people are able to sell outside of Florida. I'm not sure that they can, but they need it out here, because when you're climbing up in the mountains here, there are these biting flies, and literally it's extremely painful. And when you're on the edge of a cliff, you don't want to be going like this, because you're going to fall off the cliff. So they need.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone saw the video that we posted yesterday on. I think it was on our page, but we posted your trip up the mountain yesterday, and I don't. Was it 5,000 feet? I don't remember what it was, but it was higher than I wanted to be.
We went from 4,000 to 10,000. So it was a very steep climb, and there was, some drop off edges there. So and it was very loose scree, very loose scree. So I fell 4 times, but I did not get hurt.
And then she was on a ATV and decided that just for the hell of it, she wanted to grab the muffler to see if she could take the pain. How did that work out?
Well, that's not exactly how it happened, but it was extremely painful, and I have a very large blister now on my hand. So there will be no kayaking right now.
Oh, what a shame. Everybody here says hi, and they're yelling hello to you. It's a lovely day on the beach, and we want to thank you for checking in, and I love you, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye to her. All right, so right now we're going to give away 2 tickets to the Beach Theater. So the first person that answers correctly and types it in the chat box, if you've won in the last 30 days, please give someone else a try. That's the old radio rule.
Right, it is the rule.
We want to make it seem like we have more than 9 listeners. I know we don't, but we want to make it seem that way. And I'm going to read it correctly this week because last week I made a mistake.
Don't read the answer with the question. It's very important.
Right. So this week brings the musical In the Heights to the Beach Theater. The movie was produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I have no idea if that's the correct way to say it, but what other Broadway winning play did he write and perform in and on Broadway? That's a somewhat of an easier question compared to the last.
Boss Baby? That was the easiest question ever.
Why was Boss Baby easy? I've never heard of that either.
The answer
oh,
with
okay,
the
yeah,
question,
that
so
made it
was
easy.
totally simple, right? So, oh, we got one.
All righty, Kathy's the winner. It is Hamilton, and so Kathy, we'll be giving you the tickets to the Beach Theater during the week. We'll share your
The
information.
Beach Theater has like awesome burgers.
Oh, I haven't had food there yet, but I understand it's like
everybody says it's awesome.
Yeah, I understand it's like a restaurant there. So if you get a chance to check out the Beach Theater, please do. It's I don't know, it's like halfway down. Would you say it's about maybe not halfway down, maybe 2 miles
past halfway. So.
Yeah. The Beach Theater, and good congratulations to Kathy for winning the tickets. The answer is Hamilton. So there you go. Well, that hour flew by with Sean and his wife here. That was
it was. I looked down; it was 9:25. I
Yeah.
looked back. I'm like, oh, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah, and it was nice for them to clarify and exactly what the services are that they provide down there. And
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
he's a good guy on the beach who provides good services on the beach. It's unfair. I mean, again, I don't think anybody really wants the homeless that cause the problems here, but it's unfair that he gets saddled with some of that sometimes.
It'll be interesting to see how some of the folks that were using the word enable react or respond to what they heard, but maybe they already knew, and that's just the way they're going to feel about it, and it is what it is, you know.
It's always the NIMBY thing, right? Not in my backyard.
Yeah.
You know, and that's going to be the problem from here on out.
Bringing up the fact that he would like to build housing on the property is, hey,
You're asking for it.
It's got to be somewhere, though,
But
right?
the problem is, again, housing is not going to keep the homeless from being homeless. You
Right.
can give them a house, and they're not. You know, that's not the
Might help.
not the problem. You got to get to the root cause of the problem.
It might be for some, though. If let's say there's 10 and 5 are now in a house, that's a lot of help.
Yeah, but the 5 that aren't in the house are probably the ones that are causing the problem.
Yeah, and I don't know what the answer is. I mean, at least it's not like some of the cities where folks to live in tents and kids to live in tents. That's just nutty.
When you legalize street camping, what do you think's going to happen? If the town council came out tomorrow and said, "Hey, we're going to legalize camping along Estero Boulevard,"
Yeah.
I can tell you what's going to happen the next
There'd be camping on Estero Boulevard.
There'd be a ton of camping on Estero Boulevard.
Because it's the only thing you could afford down here right now. Wow,
yeah.
it's crazy. It's gotten
It is,
crazy. What do you
it's
have
nuts.
planned for the weekend, Greg?
Working on my house, right? So the house values are going up. I got to work on the house to keep up with the Joneses, right? So I'm
Yeah.
going to be out working on my yard, beautifying my property, hanging out with my sons, doing family stuff. Weekends are for family time.
My responsibility with Kim in Utah is to make sure the dogs go out.
It's a
And
big responsibility.
she showed me how to put the harness on the dog, on Jillian's dog, our daughter's dog that we have. And it was like there were 4 different straps, and the harness went under and over. And I was like, I think I got this. And so this morning when I put the harness on her, it was choking her. It was like she was gagging, and then she starts pulling back, and then I start yelling at her in the middle of the street because she's in the middle of the street. And I know she's got to take a leak. And so I had to tell a different story about the dog yesterday. And so now I'm picking the dog up, and I'm like, I'm putting the dog on the grass. we just wanted to go for a walk with the harness, and I couldn't figure out the harness.
Yeah, the harnesses are, I have little dogs, but my wife got the harnesses. The first time I put them on, they were doing the same thing. They're gagging. I got the one that's supposed to go around the neck, around the chest. They can't breathe. I think one of them turned blue, may have passed out. Don't hate me, but
yeah. So I finally get her on the grass, and of course she takes a 10-minute leak because she had to go so bad. So the other day she likes to lay out on the deck because I think the deck is cool, although it's 100 degrees out sometimes. But she sits by the back door and she likes to go out on the deck. And so she was sitting by the back door. I'm like, all right, I'll let her go out on the deck. And so then I go back to my computer and do my work. And then I go out and there's duty everywhere. She pooped everywhere. Like she really needed to go out that time.
So that was your fault.
Yeah,
right? So
that was my fault. I didn't yell
in
at
the
her.
house is definitely your fault.
I didn't
right?
yell at her or anything. So that's
why
my.
can't we just use collars? What did they become inhumane all of a sudden? Like
That,
dogs
well,
are using collars
I don't know.
forever.
None of our dogs have collars on them for some reason. Anyway,
Hunter has a collar, by the way.
Yeah,
their dog. Yeah,
yeah.
The neighborhood dog.
All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you tuning in. Big audience today for Pastor Sean Kritzer at the Beach Baptist, and we hope we answered some questions and got you thinking about things. And we're gonna have some. I think we're gonna have somebody from Tuna Skin on next week because they got another fishing deal coming up, and
Great
it was a great time at the 4th of July last weekend. We were on the roof at Margaritas, and we got a great view of the fireworks. And I have to say, the town of Fort Myers Beach really. It was awesome. They did an awesome job. The company they used for the fireworks, the grand finale, people were. I'm not a fireworks person. I don't know why. I would just rather be at home and not deal with people and deal with the traffic and deal with the drunks. We almost got into an accident on the way home because of one of the drunks not paying attention. But the fireworks were outstanding.
So
and people loved it.
We watched them from the middle of the island, right where we live, and I got to tell you, it was spectacular.
Yeah.
And there were shows all up and down the whole beach. It was a great night.
And one other piece of good news from the beach: the bathrooms are done. Everybody, the Lynn Hall Park. I'm surprised the county didn't put out a press release about that with it being so slow in the month of July. But the bathrooms are done. They're super nice. I went in there just to hang out.
No video,
I didn't take any
right?
pictures
Good.
of anybody or anything like that. But the bathrooms, I felt like I could go all day. And sometimes I do
And
have
they'll be
to
like
go
that
all
for
day.
a week.
Yeah, and
Right.
they're nice. So please keep them nice. Pick up after yourself. That's the other thing that drives me nuts on the beach is that people go out and they party on the beach and they don't pick up after themselves. You need groups of people to go out the next day and pick up after all the slugs from the night
Some
before.
people
It's
are
crazy.
just assholes.
Yeah.
And they're going to be assholes.
All right,
That's the way it
everybody. Thank you so much for being part of the show, and we'll be back next week. I don't know who's going to be guest hosting because he's going to Disneyland, but we appreciate you
Margaritaville,
guys.
actually.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm speaking at Margaritaville for my job.
Who might have one of those here
I
someday?
know, it's going to be awesome. Maybe I can speak at this one sometime.
All right, before we go, I want to tell you about the Beach Pottery, folks. Alana, whatever you want to call her. She's from Vietnam. Oh, no, she's not from Vietnam, but her pots are from Vietnam. You need to go down there and get a pot from Vietnam or, the good news is they're not from China because everything from China brings the virus.
Yes, it does. And I
The
got to tell
China
you,
virus.
Alana is an awesome person. So
Yeah.
I get she didn't say this, but I'm going to say it for everybody to know. Like when we did our fundraiser for the beach school, High Rollin' at the Beach,
Yeah.
Alana won the 50-50, and she donated the whole thing back to the beach
Nice.
school.
Very nice.
Didn't want to tell anybody, but she's a great part of the community, and I have some of her stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a really cool lamp. It's
Well,
awesome.
if you want to get a cool pot or a cool lamp, or the guy in the back that does the chainsaw massacre of the whatever he does in the wood back there, it's the place to go. And now they have like a coffee bar and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So you can go and hang out with Alana, and you can talk to her about her trip to Vietnam and how many times she's been there and why the pots from Vietnam are so much better than anywhere else.
Well, anything's better than from China, right?
Right.
And Chinese
And-
pots are spying on you, by the way.
Of course they are. And then from $5 to $500. So you could probably get a little bitty pot to a big pot. And folks, I know what you're thinking when I say pot. They don't sell that kind of pot there. So get over it. They
You
sell
know
pots where you put the dirt in the pot. Now what you put in the dirt is completely up to you, but there'd be good sized pots
Keep it legal.
for whatever
Keep it
you
legal.
wanted to do. So head on down there. They're located on San Carlos Boulevard, or you can call Alana and say some jackass was just reading your commercial and said you got some little Vietnamese people hanging out in the back building pots and things like that. 437-4211 is the number to call. 437-4211. Thank you so much to Alana and her husband, who I think is CIA or something like that.
No comment.
He builds, no comment. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.